chapter 16 to me is one of my favorite chapters. The title is Learning from the Greatest Leaders of All Time. And this concept goes something like this. I hear people in the world say things like, I don't read. I don't like to read. I've never read, and it just kind of blows me away. Now there are people that struggle to read. Like my wife's one of them. She has ADHD, and for her to sit down and read a book is very, very difficult, right? That being said, I still think that there is an enormous amount of value in leaders, in everyone, frankly, reading and reading deeply and reading broadly. Basically, I don't really believe in like hanging out with your contemporaries and having conversations and learning from people, because I don't know if those people are that smart. And secondly, so somebody builds a nice business and they sell it and they have a nice exit, and they're worth tens of millions and they're a big deal and whatever. Well, they grew one business. That doesn't make them an expert, right? Doesn't make them an expert in growing business or developing a purpose-led business or a business that's powerful in the world and in the community and so on. And so I've always kind of had this notion that at a cocktail party, I'm just making small talk to make small talk to have everybody be comfortable and happy. Like, I'm not going to learn anything there, right? I don't think. I might make a connection, but my overall point is I want to make sure what I'm taking into my brain, taking into my soul, is like well thought out, is purposeful in its intent. Authors take an extraordinary amount of time to organize their arguments. And like when you write, you sit there and you think to yourself, God, is this really what I mean to say here? Is this what I mean to say? And then you really work hard to make sure like the examples are the appropriate examples for what you're trying to say. And so like that's why doing deep reading, like deeply into books, to me is critical. And instead, so many of us, I think, we talk about things as experts, but really where we're getting our information is like scrolling at 75 miles an hour through whatever it is, Reddit or LinkedIn or whatever, and we're quoting little chirps of information that are, about as deep as a puddle, right? And so anyway, I'm advocating aggressively for reading deeply. And then another part of this that I'm proud of is this concept of learning from non-business leaders as a business leader. And there's a couple of things that I do in here that I think are sort of cute and a little bit funny. I want to read a couple of quotes I put in here from Willie Nelson. Would you think Willie Nelson is a book that CEOs should be reading? It's like, yeah, absolutely. Like if you read it, you'll be like, yep, this guy's unbelievable. But I'm going to read two quotes from Willie Nelson. One is, power over my own thoughts. That's a hell of a concept. It means that you don't ever have to fall into the trap so many people can't seem to avoid, victimhood. That's the worst feeling in the world, because it means that there ain't shit you can do about your current situation. I had my share of low moments, but I was learning that there was always something you can do. You can train your mind to look up, not down, and not back. I love that. And then another quote that I took from Willie Nelson's book is, that's another big blessing, longevity, one I never expected. It's one thing to be 82, but it's another to have the energy to keep touring the globe. That energy isn't fueled by anything I can generate on my own. The fuel is love. Love of people, places, animals, plants, water. Love of sound, love of space, love of fireflies, and a star-filled skies. Love is life, love is home. And like, that's Willie Nelson, right? And I get teary reading that. It's just so incredibly powerful to me. And I want everybody in the world to read that, read that book and understand who Willie Nelson is and who he, how he lives and so on. So anyway, that's advocating for reading beyond the surface of just business books. And then I'm just going to close. As you can tell, this is probably one of the chapters I'm most proud of in the whole book. And I'm just going to close with the last two paragraphs, and that reading is our most powerful antidote. We are facing untold risks in the coming years, let alone the coming generations. Whether it be climate change, AI, a new fast spreading virus or political extremism, we need to find an antidote. We need leaders to step up and manage more effectively and help steer this vessel called Earth and all of its inhabitants in the healthiest direction possible. The most powerful leaders, managers anywhere are within our corporations, who are currently motivated by one thing and one thing only: profit. If we don't manage our resources more effectively, profit will seem like a silly, insignificant beacon when everything as we know it is decimated. How do we equip ourselves as managers? What is the antidote to the scorched earth policies created by Milton Friedman in 1971? I'm not sure yet. Discovery will happen through reading. Not reading what is flashing on the screen of our phone written by some hack who has an opinion deeply rooted in self-interest, but rather by reading experts in their field who have spent a lifetime researching and crafting arguments that have impact. Reading deeply and reading broadly is the start, and then we need to think heavily and set our course. I look forward to the discussions with people who see it as their responsibility to help find the antidote and move us in the right direction.